So Kenny Kunene has officially resigned from his position as a councillor for the Patriotic Alliance in Johannesburg and also stepped down as the MMC, member of Mayoral Committee for Transport. Now, this happened just days after he was suspended from his role as the deputy president of the party. The sudden resignation follows heavy criticism after Kunene was found at the home of a man named Katiso KT Molefe, who was arrested in Sandton earlier that week. Molefe is suspected of being involved in the murder of well-known South African musician and businessman DJ Sumbody. The incident placed Kunene in a very uncomfortable spotlight, especially since the arrest happened at the same location where he was present. Political parties, the media and the public have all been asking questions about what Kunene was doing there and whether he had any personal or business ties to Molefe. However, Kenny Kunene denied knowing Molefe and said the entire thing was a coincidence. He claimed that he only went to the house because a young journalist from his media company was supposed to do an exclusive interview with Molefe. According to Kunene, he was merely helping set up the meeting and didn't even know Molefe personally. He said he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, but for what he believed were the right reasons, supporting young talent in the media. Despite public doubt and criticism, Kunene continues to insist he is innocent and had no knowledge of Molefe's criminal background. His story raised eyebrows, especially since he was caught at the crime suspect's house during a major arrest operation carried out by the police.
No relationship to Mr. Molefe whatsoever?
Yes, we have no relationship.
You never met him before you saw him being arrested?
No, I met him
in his
before.
driveway. Where had you met him?
I saw him where I met him. One of the person that arranged for the interview. When he hosted his mother's birthday at his place, I went because I know this person, and Mr. Molefe was there. They know each other.
You spoke?
Mr. Molefe was there. No, I didn't speak to Mr. Molefe because I went with my own people, and everybody would then have a corner. But I saw him there. So but I have not had conversations with Mr. Molefe.
Okay.
That is why when the police asked me, do you have his number? I said, no, I don't have Mr. Molefe's number. In fact, here is my phone, punch his number and see if I have it. They said, no, we believe you. Then they said, but how did you get here? I said, that person there, because he was there also, the person that facilitated.
So you have a link to Mr. Molefe, though? You have a person who can contact him for you?
No. The way you are putting it is is continuously contact. The person there sent me the address. They said, let's see. Okay. I showed the police that this is the person that sent me the address, which means, and the police accepted that because if I had a relationship with Mr. Molefe, he would have sent me the address. Yeah. If I had been there before, I wouldn't need an address. So getting the address shows that I have never been there before.
So the leader of the Patriotic Alliance, Gayton, said that although Kunene maintains he's done nothing wrong, the party decided to suspend him from his deputy president role so that proper investigations can be done without interference. Mackenzie also stated that Kunene will fully cooperate with the investigation and is confident that his name will be cleared in the process. At the same time, the Democratic Alliance DA in Johannesburg has acknowledged Kunene's resignation, but they are still pushing for a complete investigation into all the work he did while he was in charge of transport in the city. They are especially concerned about contracts and tenders he signed off on while holding political power. The DA wants to make sure everything was done fairly and legally and not influenced by any backdoor deals.
Going to tell him to stand back from politics for 1 month until the investigation is done. That's the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. It's the hardest thing. To act against Kenny Kunene. Yeah, it's the hardest thing I ever had to do. But, you see, the party must always come first. The party must always come first. And no one is bigger than the party. Kenny Kunene has nothing to hide, and the investigation will prove that. But I don't want you to think there's VIPs in the PA. I don't want you to think. I want you to know. Just as Kenny is going to be subjected to this, as our deputy president, and he must stand back from politics for 1 month or for as long as the investigation is on, he's going to be removed as the MMC. So shall all of us. But it's not enough that me as his brother knows he's innocent. It's important, but I want you to know that I've done many things in my life, and this is the hardest one I ever had to do. That's my brother, man. Kenny doesn't need politics. He's doing this for the love of people. I know the investigation will come back. It was the truth, what I already know. But I need you to know that there's no VIPs in the Patriotic Alliance. Kenny must answer. What did he do there? Why was he there? And he has the answers. But the PA is a different political party. The PA is a different political party. I can show the DA is making posters about Kenny, but I can show them people that's before court here in the Western Cape, which they don't act against. But we must be transparent. If there's an allegation against me tomorrow, I will come on this live and I will say, I'm going to stand back while we investigate the allegation, because we want to be different than the ANC, the DA, and all the parties. So, we mustn't, when we say there's no celebrities or there's no famous people in the PA, we mean it. And to all of you that talk, Kenny this, you don't know him. I know him. And the reason why I'm taking this step, this big step, you might not see it now, but you will thank me later, because I know he's innocent. You all know how close we are. We've been close.
And the DA's caucus leader in Johannesburg made it clear that Kunene's explanation is not good enough. She said his version of events sounds ridiculous and doesn't make sense, especially given the seriousness of the situation. Just being at the house of a murder suspect during an arrest raises serious concerns, and his resignation, while welcome, does not erase the need for accountability. The DA has already written to the mayor asking for a full investigation into everything Kunene was responsible for, including finances, procurement decisions and city projects. They believe this is necessary not only to hold Kunene accountable, but also to protect the integrity of the city and prevent any possible corruption from being swept under the rug. For now, the public is waiting to see whether the investigations will reveal more about Kunene's real connection to Molefe and whether his story will hold up under legal scrutiny.
And good evening to the viewers. No, we don't buy his story. We believe it's laughable. Firstly, what is a concern for me is that in the middle of the day, he's explaining even how he got there. That is very concerning for us, because we're sitting with major crises currently in the city. And during the day, the MMC of Transport has the time to visit a suspect, take a journalist who's supposed to be independent, if it is a journalist, to a suspect's house. That is in itself very concerning for us, and we can go into the ethical issues of that. But it's very concerning for us that the executive, one of the members of the executive, who has no time to at least explain to some of the residents why their potholes are not fixed, why the Lili Ngoyi is still where it is today, and why half of Sandton is without water for 6 days, has the time to go and visit with a journalist a suspect. That is a very concerning matter for us.